Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Cloud, and welcome to my personal VOD reviews of Locals. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at Game 4 of Week 3 of the OP11 Meta, where I played Green Yellow Yamato versus Black Rob Lucci. Here's the deck list that I played in this match, and if you haven't already done so, please go check out the Locals retro video I made that covers this deck list and my overall thoughts on how Locals went this week. Without further ado, let's hop into the game. Final game for Week 3 of the OP11 Meta, I'm playing Green Yellow Yamato versus Black Rob Lucci. This is not my most favorite matchup. I've always had a pretty hard time going against Rob Lucci with Green Yellow Yamato, just because in general Yamato has a pretty rough matchup into Lucci, since he can KO anything we play on board while establishing his own board, and more importantly because Lucci gets to loop blockers, which makes it really hard for me to be able to get through those blockers to attack life. But we'll see how today's game goes. Not to mention, I am feeling a little bit nervous because I'm playing against Kuro TCG. Just wanted to give Kuro a quick shout out because he recently went undefeated during the day 1 switch stage of the Las Vegas regionals that happened last weekend. That's a huge accomplishment, congratulations on going undefeated. It's unfortunate that you couldn't win the whole regionals, but you made our community proud. Going into the dice roll, I rolled a 7. And my opponent rolled a 6, so I get to pick. For the first 2 games, I went first because I am playing a trigger aggro variant of Yamato, but as you can see here, it looks like I opted to go second. And that's because I kind of felt like going first wasn't working out for me, so opting in to go second here. Let's take a look at our opening hand. We've got 3 cost Izo, 2 0 cost You're the Ones Who Should Disappear, 1 cost Yamato, and 1 cost Gum Gum Elephant Gatling. Let's do our counter check. We've got a 2k, 3k, 3k, 1k, and that's it. Wow, that's crazy. We actually have a total of 9k counter in hand. I think that's the most we've ever gotten, so really good to see that. We are full of defenses for our opening hand, but ironically, it is a little unfortunate that we see 2 You're the Ones Who Should Disappear, just because this card makes us have to trash a card from hand in order to play it. So we'd have to go down 2 cards if we wanted to use both. So seeing 2 is a little much. But, I can't really complain that we have a lot of counter. In terms of the cards themselves, I'm actually really happy that I got to see the 1 cost Yamato Searcher. This card has been eluding my opening hand for the last 3 games for this week, so really happy to be seeing it here. Being able to play it on my first turn to search my top 5 for a Land of Wano that costs 2 or more is really nice. But more importantly, for 2 Dawn, which is pretty easy when I have leader ability, I can make it a 5k attacker. So really nice to have in my opening hand. Besides that though, all of the other cards aren't doing much for us in the early portion of the game, so it's a little unfortunate there. Let's see if I decide to mulligan or not though. There's a chance I might not, just because I have the Yamato, but it looks like I am gonna mulligan. Okay, maybe just wanted to see a little bit more options here. Looks like my opponent decided to keep their opening hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on ×2 to get past that. Pretty crazy. Looks like I dropped a card there. One moment please as I finish shuffling. Okay. Set up my hand. Set up my life. And let's take a look at what we've got. Oh no! That is not good. Alright, we got 2 cost Hiyori, 4 cost Momonosuke, not Momonosuke, 4 cost Nekomamashi, and 3 Kiku Nojos. That is really unfortunate. Let's do our counter check. We've got a 2k and a 1k, and that's it. We went from 9k counter in hand down to only 3k counter in hand. Not to mention, we lost our Yamato Searcher, and we lost a lot of the counter, and we got 3 Kiku Nojos. That's so unfortunate. This is one card you don't want to be seeing in your hand because you want to be seeing in your life. at least with the trigger aggro builds, you want these in your life because Kikunojo is a 4-cost 6k power character. Sorry. 4-cost 6k power slash character with no counter that says, on KO, if your opponent's life is 3 or less, place the top card of your deck to the top of your life. But more importantly, trigger, if your opponent's life is at 3 or less, play this card. So this is one of the trigger bodies that I have in the deck. In fact, it's the most important one. So seeing 3 of them in my hand means I know that my life does not have this card, and that's really unfortunate. I mean, it is, good that I see the Hiyori. I could use this to set up one of these Kikunojos into life, but it still kind of sucks that I have all 3 in hand. Already, I think this is going to be a really rough matchup for me. Starting off the game, my opponent goes first, 1 Dawn, taps it to play Tempest Kick, draws 1 card, and then passes the turn to me. I draw a Hody Jones from my deck for turn 1, meaning I now have 4 bricks in hand with no 0-cost event to convert them, which is really bad. Oh man, I go up to 2 Dawn. I have no 2 Dawn play, so I pass the turn. And now my opponent draws for turn, goes up to 3 Dawn. They're gonna go ahead and attach 1 to their leader, using leader ability and attacking me. Oops, wrong color. For 6k. 6k to 5. I don't want to give up my counter, especially when I know I'm gonna need to use that Hiyori. So I just take the hit. And then they tap 1 Dawn to play out Mancherry. Back to me, I go up to 4 Dawn, and I attach all 4 to my leader, and I go 9k double attack at my opponent, getting them down to 3 life, which is good. So at least we have that going for us. And then I pass the turn back to them. They go up to 5 Dawn, and my opponent's going to start off with a 5k attack with leader to life using leader ability to trash 2 cards on the top of the deck. Here I do want to counter, so I just go ahead and give a 1k, and then my opponent taps all 5 Dawn to play out the blocker Sabo, a card I haven't seen in a very long time. Lets them draw 2 cards and then trash 2 cards, and then gives their entire board protection from KO from effects. Turn passes back to me. I go up to 6 Dawn. And, this turn's not looking too hot here. They do have a blocker. So I'm going to go ahead and attach 3 Dawn to my leader and just go 8k double attack to life. My opponent chooses to use the Sabo blocker and then gives me a 2k and a 1k to keep it alive. Okay, sweet. Then I tap 1 Dawn to play Yamato. Let's go search in here. Ooh, 3 2ks. 1 cost Yamato and 4 cost Nekomamushi. Looking at these options and knowing that I have 3 Kikunojos in hand, 3 Kikunojos in hand, I think I should probably take the 2 cost Hiyori. Really thinking about it here. It's got to be a 2 cost or higher Land of Wano, so I can't take the Yamato, unfortunately. I might take the Izo, thinking that they might play Rebecca. That is a 4 cost blocker. So the Izo would actually be a pretty good choice. Maybe I'll need to rest that in the future, so yep, go ahead and take that. It's still a 2k nonetheless, so that's fine. And then I'm going to tap my 2 Dawn to play out the Hiyori, taking my top life, which is an Onami. Ooh, that would have been a very nice trigger. And here's an issue. I have both Kikunojo and Onami in hand now. Let's just pause right there. These 2 cards, Kikunojo and Onami. Both of these have really good trigger abilities. The Kikunojo we already talked about. Since my opponent is at 3 or less life, if I trigger this, I'll be able to play it out. But the Onami has a trigger that says KO any character with 5 costs or less. One of my opponent's characters, of course. And so that's also a good option. I know they have Sabo. It currently has protection, but once it's back to their turn, it no longer has protection. And at the moment, I have no way of resting a 5 cost blocker. So in my mind, it's like, oh, if I keep this at the top of my life and they attack me, I can trigger it and KO their 5 cost blocker. Meaning that they're going to have to either use more Dawn to put out another blocker, or, just not have a blocker at all, opening up the avenue for me to attack their life once again, which is really good. So It's a really huge debate here for what I want to be putting into the top of my life. Putting the Kikunojo does mean I get rid of 1 brick and I keep the 1k counter in hand, but I lose out on being able to KO something, so I opt in to keep the Onami at the top of my life. I think just getting rid of the blocker is really good, but there's something that will be upcoming that I completely forgot about at the time. So, passing back to my opponent, they're now at their 7 Dawn turn, and they choose to play Jack. Jack's a very good card for them. So they're going to trash 1 card and KO a 3 or less, so they KO my Yamato. Game's going a little quick here, but let's take a quick pause to read Jack at least, because it is a very strong black card. Jack is a 7 cost 8k power slash character with no counter that says, this character gains +4 costs. Then activate main. You may rest this character, draw 1 card, and trash 1 card from hand, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. It's a good way for the Lucci player to cycle, and also just KO one of my bodies. So, really good card for them. Passing back to me, I go up to my 8 Dawn turn. They chose not to attack last turn, thinking that I set up maybe like a Kikunojo or something into my life. Unfortunate, because I did set up the Onami. So, what's gonna be my play here? We'll start off with the 5k with leader to my opponent's life, which they choose to use the Sabo blocker. I then go ahead and tap 4 Dawn to play out 1 Kikunojo, and tap another 4 Dawn to play out the other Kikunojo. So I've got at least 2 bodies on board now, and Kikunojo is a little troublesome for Lucci's because if they KO it, I do get to heal, so that's not too bad for me. Hopefully they stick around. I pass back to my opponent. They're now at their 9 Dawn turn. And they're going to start off with a 5k attack with leader to my life, reducing my Kikunojo by 1 cost. I could take this hit. It would allow me to KO the Sabo. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Take the hit, trigger, and KO the Sabo. But here's where the issue goes on. Actually, we'll wait till it happens, actually. Maybe you already recognized it, so it's fine. My opponent now is gonna go, I think the Lucci, not Lucci. They're actually just activating Jack's ability to cycle 1 and then KO my Kikunojo, allowing me to heal 1 since they are at 3 or less life. They still have all 9 Dawn up. Wonder what they're gonna do with it. And yeah, here's the issue. So they have Mansherry on board. I'm gonna go ahead and read out Mansherry's ability. Mansherry is a 1 cost 0k power slash character with 1k counter that says, activate main, tap 1 Dawn, rest this character, return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, return 1 3 to 5 cost black character from your trash to your hand. And so I just KO'd the Sabo blocker, but I forgot about the Mansherry, so he immediately was able to bring him back, which sucks for me. He did take that back, right? Yeah, he did take it back. Yeah, unfortunate. Maybe, you know, keeping the Kikunojo there would have been better. So it's a little unfortunate that that happened. My opponent's gonna tap 4 more Dawn to play Laboon. Laboon's gonna give my Kikunojo -4. And then they're gonna play out Rebecca, which allows them to bring back the Brook from trash and play it out immediately, which KOs my Kikunojo, so I do get to heal, but I just lost the attacker on board. Really unfortunate. Turn passes back to me. I'm now at my 10 Dawn turn. I do fortunately draw Gum Gum Elephant Gatling, which will let me rest a 5 cost or less for only 2 Dawn. And I do still have the Izo that I picked up earlier, so you know, I picked it up because I knew they would be playing a Rebecca at some point. It will let me rest a 4 cost or less. So you saw me move both Izos to the front of my hand because I could go for a banish play here. So we're gonna tap 3 Dawn for the Izo, 3 cost Izo to rest the Rebecca. And then we're gonna go 0 to 0 just to KO the Mansherry, get that out of the way. I could have KO'd the Rebecca actually, but the Man-Cherry right now is what helps him recur units from trash. So getting rid of that is probably better. Go ahead and tap 2 more Dawn to play Izo, giving my leader Banish. And then we're just going to go ahead and attach 4 Dawn to my leader to go 9k double attack Banish, which he has to take. That's good news for me. And then I'll go ahead and use leader ability, attach 2 Dawn to my Izo, making it a blocker. I mean, with the characters he has on board, he can easily get rid of the Izo, but the goal here is that he has to spend something to get rid of it, right? Otherwise I get the free block, so I think it's worth it to do that. Plus I don't have any other attackers, so might as well just make it a blocker. Going back to my opponent, they're now at 10 Dawn. They start off with the Tempest Kick. They have more than 10 cards in trash, so they get to give my Izo -3 and draw a card. And then they're going to use Brook to go, I think it was 5 at life, KOing my Izo. And I decide to take it. No counter. And that's because I just don't have a 1k in hand, which really sucks. Then they go 5k with leader. I have a 1k now. Probably should just crash it, honestly. They still have Jack and Laboon that can attack. Still have 9 Dawn up. Or 8 Dawn up. Yeah, it makes sense. I give up the 1k to get out of that. And then it looks like they're going 5k to my life with Laboon. I decide to give my opponent the 2k. So here's the thing. With all the Dawn that my opponent has up here, and just from playing enough Lucci games, I know that they are trying to maintain as much Dawn as possible while attacking me, so that if I do trigger something out, they'll have enough Dawn to reduce the cost and KO it. They still have the Jack on board, so I know that they just need to reduce it down to 3, which isn't too hard given it is Lucci. So I do just counter here, trying to keep my life as high as total, so that once they spend a lot of Dawn doing something else, I'll be, more safe to take a hit. But for now, we just counter out. As you can see here, they now have no options, so they just go ahead and use Jack to KO the Izo. And I know that they don't have any more KO options. They spend 5 Dawn to play out the Sabo, protecting their whole board. Draw 2, trash 2, and they pass the turn with 3 Dawn up. I'm still healthy at 3 life, which isn't too bad. And yeah, that's all I can say really. Going back to me, I drew a 4-cost Kinemon for my deck. They do only have 1 life left, and they have 5 cards in hand. Thank you, Kuro, for putting that down. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap 7. I do have 3 life, so I feel pretty comfortable here taking this life. It's unfortunate that my top life was the Kinemon there. I could have potentially triggered that out. But like I was saying, with Laboon on the board, which can give -4, Leader, which can give -1, and then both Jack and Brook, they can pretty much KO anything. So playing out trigger bodies gets, dealt with very easily by Lucci. Playing the Hody here is pretty good though. I get to rest the 2 blockers and hopefully just maybe try to end the game here. I start off by attaching 2 Dawn to my Yamato and go 7k at my opponent's last life, which they give me a 1k and a 2k for. I go 0 to 0 to kill the blocker, just get that out of the way. And now I'm going to go ahead and use leader ability on the Hody, 10 into the Jack to get rid of that. Just because I know I can't go for game anymore, might as well just remove some of the attackers that my opponent has. Really quick, there was some off chance that I maybe could have won last turn. If I attached my last Dawn to Yamato, I could have gone 8 here instead. 8k, 10k. You saw that they only pitched a 2k and a 1k to get out of the 7k hit. If they had us, 2 2ks in hand, they'd have to give that up to counter out of the leader attack, or maybe give up their entire hand to get out of the leader attack. But I think 7k is a good number just because I know I have the Gum Gum Elephant Gatling in hand. keeping one Dawn up just means that I have that active for a potential plus 3k counter. So I do my best here just to control the board somewhat with my Hody Jones. So passing back to my opponent, they play a Tempest Kick for 1 Dawn, drawing 1 card and trashing 1 card, and then giving my Hody Jones -3. They're going to attach 1 Dawn to Brook and swing at my leader for 5k with Brook, reducing my Hody Jones cost by another 1 cost. So it's -4 now. They still have 3 attackers with 9 Dawn or 8 Dawn up. I have to defend out of at least 2 hits to stay alive, so give it 2k, get out of that. Again, I do want to try to prevent any triggers for as long as possible until they use some of their resources here. Don't know what else he has in his hand that can potentially KO something, like another Jack or another Brook. I only have 3 attacks left, so if I defend out of 1 more attack, I'm safe to just take my last 2 hits. And they're going to start off with a 5k with Laboon to life. Oops. 5k is pretty brutal, given that I don't have any 1ks in hand. But I think I should counter out of this. Ooh, I choose to take it. Okay, that's a little bit risky. Again, that's, yeah, playing on a very fine line there because they still have 2 attacks in the Sabo and leader. If they split the Dawn, they can easily just try to go for game. But hopefully the counters I have in hand is enough. They attach 2 Dawn to their Sabo and they're gonna go 8k to my life. And I have to go up to 9, which would be at least 2 2ks, which I don't have. This is unfortunate. I have plus 3k, plus 3k, and plus 2k, but none of those can add up to be, you know, exact 9k counter. It would suck to have to use my Gum Gum Elephant Gatling here and my 2k to get out of this, which is why I think I should have countered out of that 5k hit earlier. So I choose to just take it, and unfortunately it is not a counter card. So the last 2 cards from life were Hody Jones and 5 cost Momonosuke. That really sucks. And then my opponent goes 5k with leader to life. I give a 2k to get out of that. He also reduced my Hody Jones by another 1 cost, so now it's -5. He then plays that Mansherry that he picked up earlier from trash, tapping 2 Dawn to use its effect, and played out at the same time. Bottom decking 2 cards, and let's see what he takes back. Takes back Rebecca. And he taps his 4 Dawn to play that Rebecca immediately, allowing him to bring back a... Ooh, what is her name? Khalifa? That's a 2k counter. And then chooses to play out the Spandine from his hand, which allows him to bring back Rob Lucci. I think everyone's familiar with that combo. And yeah, because it's only -5 here, he can only KO 1 of the characters on my board, so he chooses, of course, to KO the Hody Jones, which I cannot do anything about, so goodbye, Hody. Alright, 1 blocker up, no Dawn active for him, passes the turn back to me. He still has 1 life and a blocker. I do have Hody Jones in hand, and at this point, I kind of just have to go for game. He does have 3 cards in hand, which is a little scary, because if it's 2 2ks, then I lose. I already know he has 1 2k in hand, which means that even if these last 2 cards are 1k, he kind of just, he has it, honestly. But I just gotta go for it. Oh, he actually has 2 blockers up. So yeah, rest of Rebecca. Oh, he actually attacked with Sabo last turn. Never mind, it's not standing. What was I thinking? I just rest the Rebecca. And then yeah, time to find out. 8k. And he does have the 2 2ks, so he gets out of it. That's pretty much GG's for me. Nothing much I can do here. I don't have any Dawn left. No ways to heal. Well, maybe I could have played out the 5 costs Momonosuke to heal 1. but honestly, I don't think I'm living next turn, even if I do that. Go ahead and use leader ability, attach to Dawn, and I just go ahead and swing at the Sabo for 10k. Which let's go. Pass back to my opponent. They've got all 10 Dawn. 4 characters on board, 3 of which can attack me, plus leader. I've got 5 cards in hand. Yeah. Starting off with a 7k. At my life, I give up 0 cost event to get out of that. And then they go another 7, and I do not have the counter, and that is game. Last card on my deck was Yamato. Oh, another rough one for me. I think this time, at least for this game, I think I played the best I could. But yeah, could not pull out the win in the end. So let me know in the comments below if you think I should have done anything different. I didn't see any, really big mistakes or misplays that happened, but maybe I missed something. So yeah, just let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, GG's to my opponent Kuro, and that's the final game for week 3. So I guess I will see you next week. See ya. Until next time, remember, keep your minds fresh and your spirits free. See ya.